Good morning. This is John from the Springs Mennonite Church, and I'm here today, the second day of the week, to do some more talking about this Gospel of Luke. Today I'm in the 18th chapter, and the first few verses. There's another story in here that I'd like to share with you. So let's take a few moments and read it and see what it says. Chapter 18, beginning with verse 1. One day, Jesus told his disciples a story to show that they should always pray and never give up. Okay, let's stop right there. The point of the story is to say that you should pray and never give up. Okay? Everything that Jesus says afterward is to make that point. You should pray and never give up. Now, maybe you pray, but then you give up. Just keep at it, is what the story is about. So here's the story. There was a judge in a certain city who neither feared God nor cared about people. What a judge. He doesn't care about anything. A widow of that city came to him repeatedly, saying, "Give me justice in this dispute with my enemy." And the judge ignored her for a while. But finally he said to himself, "I don't fear God or care about people, but this woman is driving me crazy. I'm going to see that she gets justice because she is wearing me out with her requests." So try to see this story. Here you got a judge. I don't know if you've had experiences with judges in a courtroom. I've had more than I wanted to have, I can tell you that. And I don't like it. There's nothing in the world could entice me to be a courtroom attorney. But if that's your present situation or your goal, hey, we got to have some. So, boy, do it well and do it right. But here's this judge, and it almost says he doesn't have any compassion. I mean, all he wants to do is follow the letter of the law. And if you've ever had any dealings with the law or listened to people talking about it, man, it can get confusing. I remember one famous guy says, "Well, it depends on what the word is." What? What do you mean? It is. That's what is. And the argument was, well, it depends on what that means. And sometimes they offer some really crazy ideas. So this woman needs justice. We don't know what it's about. We really don't know what the situation was. But every time she goes to the judge, he just pushes her off. Why wouldn't he? Don't care. Doesn't matter to him. Just get rid of this person. But she keeps coming, and she keeps coming, and she keeps coming, and she keeps coming. And finally, I'm going to read this part again because it's really, really neat. Finally, he says, "I don't fear God or care about people, but this woman is driving me crazy." So he says, I'm going to give her justice because she just won't leave me alone. Now, the story talks about someone who is persistent, really persistent. And maybe you've met some of those. And boy, they are irritating, particularly when you're trying to discuss something and they won't listen. They have their agenda and they're going to push their agenda and they're going to push their agenda until they get their way. And in some sense, that's what's happening here. But there's a difference because this is talking about how we should come to God, not how we should argue with our neighbors or friend. And so here's what the Lord says after the story. Learn a lesson from this unjust judge. Even he rendered a just decision in the end. Now, it wasn't that she got her way, which of course she did get her way, but the point is that the end decision was a just one, as opposed to someone who just has to get their way. Even in the end, he rendered a just decision. So, don't you think God will surely give justice to his chosen people who cry out to him day and night? Will he keep putting them off? I tell you, he will grant justice to them quickly. And when the Son of Man returns, how many will he find on earth who have faith? Too many people today think God puts them off. Now, part of that is because when they have a need, God doesn't act the way they want him to. Now, let's just be clear here. God's in charge. I'm not, and you're not. And whatever it is that I want God to do, if it's in line with what he has decided to do, then he'll do it. But he won't do it just because I want him to. Can you imagine the chaos in the world if everybody got what they wanted? You remember seeing the movie Bruce Almighty? Story about this guy named Bruce who meets God, and God says, okay, you can be God for a while. And then it comes down to this prayer list, which on his computer just goes on and on and on and on. So he finally decides to just say yes to every request. And then all heck breaks out. Million people win the lottery. You know, every team wins, but then who's going to lose? And it gets confusing and confusing. Finally, it reaches the point where Bruce says, God, I can't handle this. You do it. You see, God knows how to deal with you and me. But what he doesn't want us to do is think that he's forgotten us just because it didn't work out the way we wanted. So he uses this example of a judge who doesn't care about anybody, but the persistence of the woman forces him to render a just decision, to render the right decision. God will always render the right decision for you, for me, for everybody. And if you're one of those who thinks that God is too busy or he doesn't care or somehow he's walked away from you, this passage tells us the exact opposite. Tell he cares about all of us. And he says, don't give up. So if in your life right now you're on the verge of giving up, I have a one word of advice for you. You ready? It's pretty simple. Here it comes. Don't. Yep, just don't. Keep searching for God. Keep asking God, and God will change your life. He really will. So you think about that. Hope you have a wonderful day. Really do. And I hope that your day is filled with opportunities to see God at work. I really do about that too. So thanks for listening. Thanks for sharing some of your time. If you have a need or a concern, let us know here. We'll do whatever we can as fast as we can to help meet your need. God bless you. Take care. Be careful today and look for God. I'll see you tomorrow.